quick look at all the different game types on Times Tables Rockstars. So we've got a gig, and that's if a player is set on automatic training mode. Gig lasts 5 minutes, and we'll start with 10 questions on the 10s, then followed by 10 questions on the 2s, the 5s, the 3s, 4s, 8s, 6s, 7s, 9s, 11s and 12s. So in all 100 questions, 5 minutes in duration, and we use that to assess which table the player goes on to practice in the garage. So the garage is where pupils and players go to practice to get better on the tables that have been set either by our automatic training algorithm or by their teacher, parent or tutor. Okay, they can't change the tables themselves in garage games. So let's say they are on auto, then they will be placed on a particular level based on the tables that they underperformed on in the gig game. Okay, so this player is on level 1 and they're only going to be practicing these 4 questions in automatic level 1. They've got to play 30 more levels to reach the next gig, and when they do that they'll play another gig game 5 minutes long, get assessed as to where to go next. They can change the duration of garage games from 1 minute in length to 2 minutes to 3 minutes. Okay, it's 10 coins per correct answer. Now that's if a player is on automatic training. What about if they're not on automatic training? Then it might look like this. This is the case where their teacher, tutor or parent has set them the 2s and the 5s. Now bear in mind, when I say the teacher, I mean it's because they're a child on a school account. When I say their parent, it's because they're a child on a family account. When I say tutor, it's because they're a tutee on a tutor account. Okay, so it's still not in the hands of the child to choose their own tables in garage games. They can though choose between 1 minute, 2 minute and 3 minute games. Now then, let's go on to jamming. This is where they can choose which tables they practice, and as we'd tell teachers, kids, if you're watching this, best to go for one table at a time, and this is the preferred order. Get really good at your 10s, then get really good at your 2s, then your 5s, and so on in this order. Okay, you can choose between rounds that have multiplication and division questions, multiplication only questions, or division only. Okay, you can choose 10 questions in a round, 20 questions in a round, 30 questions in a round. And that's because we don't time you in this. There's no clock, there's no timer, so it's just you and say 10 questions on the 2s. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, notice how I chose division only questions, so I'm getting division only questions. Alright, you get 8 coins per correct answer if you choose multiplication and division, 4 for multiplication only and 4 for division only. Let's move on to studio. This is where you get your Rockstar status. It's based on your studio speed. Okay, what's your studio speed? Well, it's basically how fast you are in a minute. How many questions can you answer, and how long does it take you to answer each question on average? Okay, so once you've played 10 games, you get your first rock status, and every time you play, we update that average. It's a moving average. We're looking at your last 10, your most recent 10 studio games to work out your studio speed. And the faster you are, the better your rock status. If you want to see what speed you need to get for a particular rock status, click this little eye and you will be able to see how fast you need to be. Soundcheck. This is where you play 25 questions. They're multiplication only, and you've got a 6-second time limit per question. So 12 times 8, we enter 96. If we don't answer the question in time, let's just let this run out. Then it moves on automatically onto the next question. If I enter the answer but don't press enter, don't submit it, it will accept it when the time runs out. Okay? And that's 5 coins per correct answer. In the festival, this is where we go to race against other players. This tells us when the game starts. There's a game starting every 15 seconds. They're all the same in difficulty, and we've joined this one. It started because that clock counted down to 0, and so here we are. We're going to race against all these other players. I'm the player, so I'm this guy here, and I'm racing against those. Okay, it lasts a minute. It's pretty competitive. I'm just about somewhere. Anyway, I'm not going to play the whole thing right now. Arena is very similar to the festival. It's where you can race against other people, but this time they have to be in your class if you're a school player. They have to be in your family if you're on a family account. They have to be in your tutor or belong to the same tutor if you're a tutee. Okay. You get 1 coin per correct answer, and you'll face the tables that have been given to you in the garage. Whatever you've got in the garage, you'll get here as well. So in the arena, I'll get the 2s and the 5s. Rockslam is where I can choose someone else in my school, if I'm a school child, in my family, if I'm a family child, or another tutee or a tutor, if I'm in a tutor organisation. Yep, I can also challenge teachers in a school, in my school, or parents in my family account. Okay, so I choose who I want to challenge. I then start the challenge, and what will happen is I'll have 60 seconds to get as many questions right as I can, and then when the other person logs in that I've challenged, they'll have to see if they can beat the score that I've given them. Okay, so they don't need to be online at the same time. Okay, they just need to come in at some point and respond to the challenge. Okay, and they'll race against your ghost, if you like. So they won't actually see you, they'll see a little sort of faded out character of you moving up the guitar. And that is a roundup of all our games. Thanks for watching.